a renter or a resident, now you need 2 stickers for every building. So you need 20 stickers. So now who wants to try to keep track of 20 stickers? And that's why we're running out, because it's too complicated. So we're going to try to simplify that, and we're not ticketing or bothering anybody right now, but we're going to try to get this in place.
Yes, some of this is people store cars. You get, not, some of the parking is people store 2 or 3 cars here, and then you run into a problem that actually some of them don't even live here, but they say, oh, this is a nice place, I can park my car and safe.
Well, that's what security should do.
Well, that's one of the things, but, right now it's spring break, so the kids are coming down to see grandma and grandpa and party at the beach. So, I really don't need parking permits for them. Possibly just to put a name and unit number on the card, so, throw a card on the dashboard and that. Okay, Chuck? Chuck at the back.
Hi, I've been a resident here since 2004, and I've seen the changes in the community. And in my own personal opinion, I think that there absolutely has to be some sort of structured parking system.
Yes, I agree.
The scenario that comes up and that takes place is that you have people returning under the radar from year to year. The guest passes were put in place, but I think that honestly there needs to be 2 different levels of guest passes. The temporary ones that would go on like if somebody's visiting for a week or 2, and then a little bit more than temporary for somebody who's doing a 3 or 6 month rental.
Yes.
I do not believe that the people that do the short-term rentals should get a parking sticker, because it allows them the availability to come back the next year and not notify anybody, not notify the association that they're here.
Makes sense.
Okay, well,
That's nothing to be said that you can't have company, and
Right.
everybody's allowed to have company. But I think that it does need to be controlled to a certain capacity, because you do have people using the lots as parking lots during the day and at night. There's also the issue of what types of vehicles are allowed. Now, I've seen a lot of campers lately, which was never allowed before. So you're going to have to address the issues. Are you going to allow these types of vehicles? But I really do feel that as a full-time resident, there does need to be some sort of permanent thing in place that is checkable to see who really belongs here and who doesn't.
Chuck, I think you got some great ideas, and we're just opening the floor to get ideas. We're just beginning on the journey. So when Tom's committee, the people that can join his committee and bring these ideas with them, then he will be able to bring forward the changes needed. Yes, Don?
One short one. I know that some of the parking spots are short, but if we open every parking spot to 10 feet, we won't have to worry about guest parking because we won't have any.
All right. Okay, so I want to move on because we've got a long agenda here. Unless it's really important on security and parking, can we move on? Remember, we have a town hall later and you can ask more questions. Okay, so I'm going to give it to Brad because he's going to talk about the owner-tenant application review committee, and we go ahead.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. First of all, I want to, on our committee, the resident approval committee, we have 3 people on our team, and the first one I'd like to shout out is Karen. Karen's very big. If you'd like to stand up real quickly. Stand up.
It's a big
We make you remember your name every day, right? Okay, we got MJ. There we go, MJ. And then we got Joan. How you doing? Okay. We had 7 files. We got them all done. Nobody with less credit than a 674 as high as 804. So I think the people that are moving in are outstanding people. I love the democracy and I love the change. I can see the energy is I can see the energy is excellent here. So I'm happy to be part of that. I really am. Okay, I'll turn it back to you.
Very good.
Brad, I have two more names
Oh,
for you too.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead,
have some more
Karen.
names to pass on to you too.
I think we have enough.
Well, okay, but,
That's okay.
I'm being honest.
well, we're gonna, as the seasonal people leave in April, you can buy yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, we need some, so the other thing too is that just, you know, we publish our guidelines, on how we approve things. It's no secret anymore. And I have to tell you that in the past, there were no guidelines and there was no committee. And some of the people rejected, were absolutely wonderful applications. So,
Beautiful apps.
so we're operating to a transparency standard. We're operating to what we think are best practices, and we'll amend that as we learn more through Luis's committee on how other associations approve applications. But I can tell you a little story. I don't know if he's here. He was here with Randy saying, you know, I guess one of our town halls. He said, well, you know, I've only had 3 people look at my apartment in the last 3 months, and since the new board. He's had 5 people through in about a period of 2 weeks. So the tide is changing with regards to real estate agents, and knowing that there's a transparent process and a fair one. So having said that, the only thing is George, he can talk a little bit about the fines committee, but since there's no fines, he's got nothing to do. Hang on.
Hey, Peter, I just wanted to say I was the guy, and you're right on. I had 5 showings in the first week you guys took over. I want to thank you all for being aboard now. And I had 3 showings in 3 months, 5 in 1 week.
Hi, everybody. I'm George Baker. I'm from Building 19. I'm a unit owner, but now I live in Building 92, which is only 2 miles from my residence that I own. And I have 1 rental over there who's been very good. But as far as a finding committee, I haven't gotten any calls from anybody to be part of it. I guess nobody likes to be a bad one. But I think what we're going to try to do is be fair with everyone and you know, make sure everybody is on the same tune without any selective enforcement, which we've had for 10 years that I know of. So we're going to try to do things right. Thank you.
And hopefully he'll have nothing to do for a long time. Anyhow, George has more power on fines than the board. He can overrule the board with regard, and through his committee, and no one on his committee can be on the board. So, there you go. Those are our committees, and I'd like to move through to the building VPs. There's one change that we want to make. Yes, go ahead.
We're talking about the president and vice president of buildings.
Yes, and for building 20.
We have a petition from the owners of building 20 to deposit. It's following the first session of the new board of directors in search of a new building president and vice president, and with the prompting of many satisfied owners who spoke up on behalf of Chuck, who just spoke to you, had indicated his interest to continue on our behalf if the owners were willing to support his candidacy. Therefore, we, the undersigned owners, by written and by electronic transmission, reply favorably, request that the board of directors reconsider the interim nomination of its current president and appoint Mr. Charles Chucks Gerina and Charles Grulut, respectively, as the president, building president and vice president of PACC2 Building 20, as was proposed at the time of the board meeting on March 5th, 2016.
Okay, thank you. What I want to do is put a motion on the floor to that effect, and then we'll open it for discussion. Is that okay?
You want to be proposed now or later?
No, yeah, you can give it to me. So, I want to put 2 motions on the floor with regard to this, and then we'll open it for discussion, and we'll take a vote. $5? Okay. So one motion on the floor is that we had legal counsel have a look at deeming ownership rights to Chuck, because Chuck leases the apartment, but he is also acting for the owner. So we have a form that has been duly executed, that the motion will be that the board deems that Chuck
Can I say something?
Karina, yes, but you can only after the motion has been on the floor, okay? So I just want to move the motion that we deem he has ownership rights and can attend all meetings and all committee meetings. And we had this document prepared by legal counsel for the association. Do I have someone who so moved that? Okay, you move, so Luis moves, you second. Now we're going to open for discussion. Go ahead. Chuck, you wanted to talk, so go ahead.
I just want to say that this, I have been an active member of this community since 2007. And a seasonal resident since 2004. This is my family that we're talking about, so I'm not a fly-by-night. I take full responsibility of the job that I do, and I think I do it very well. Probably better than any other building president.
Why not, Chuck?
Okay, let me, are there any questions from the board first on this motion? No? Okay, go ahead, George.
I believe we have a rules committee in effect, and I believe that maybe the rules committee, because it is a rule that a unit owner can only be.
Well, we've actually got a legal document.
I understand that, but now you're taking things away from the rules committee.
Well, we have an
discussing
immediate,
that with them.
well, we have an immediate need to appoint him as a president. To do that, we have to make sure he has the rights, deemed rights of an owner. So it's a short-term thing. So there's a motion on the floor. We have a seconder, we vote for discussion. Is there any other discussion on this motion? Okay, all in favor? Anyone opposed? No. Okay, Chuck, you now have ownership rights. Now, with regard to the petition, I'd like to put a motion on the floor that Chuck become the president of Building 20 and Charles Roulette becomes the VP, and that we thank Susan Hagen for